Okay, let's see, inside. Here is the water bucket. This I just picked up at Lowe's. You can see food grade, heavy duty, BPA free. So no BPA for our chickens. And it's got 4 poultry nipples on the bottom. Something else I did is I had an old sheet pan here, and I just use that to put underneath it. So it works really well as far as not making a mess, but the chickens still drop a lot of water out of it, and it helps to keep moisture out of the coop. I can just pull that outside, dump it out, let it dry, and put it back in. It doesn't spread throughout the coop. Here is the feeder I just have hanging from a chain. I put everything on carabiners so it's easy to remove. This one is a 12-pound with a 12-inch pan. I don't have a lid on this or anything, but I haven't needed it. I haven't had any problems with that. Underneath it I have some oyster shells in a pan for the girls to get at for making their eggs nice and hard. Oh yeah, coming in the door here, I wanted to make it as easy as possible, but you know, you want to keep all your bedding in the coop. So I just cut a pallet board here and put a couple screws on either side. Real simple design here. And it just slides right down in there. And if I want to sweep out the whole thing, it's super easy. Okay, so the perches, I'll show you the perches next. So, like I said, I used all fresh cut wood for perches. You know, it's not too big, I don't know, about 3 or 4 inch diameter, but they seem to like it quite a bit. I tried to make everything as easy as possible. You can see they're removable. I just cut pieces of wood, pieces of 2x4 that fit in there, so these slide in and out for ease of cleaning. Right in there, nice and solid. They sleep on this one at night. I think they'll sleep. They'll hang out at the highest place possible, and this is where they congregate at night. My major cleaning problem was the floor right here, because that's where they poop. So I stole an idea from another YouTube user who had a poop catcher on there, and that's what I made. Just an old bookshelf that I screwed onto some braces here, and you can see here it makes cleaning a lot easier. I don't waste near as much bedding because it's just right on here, and I just take my dustpan and just scrape it up. I just use a bucket and scrape it straight into the bucket. It makes it really easy. You know, there's still some poop on the ground, but not all that much. Vents, you can see from the inside how I just cut through and just screwed them straight on there. And it seems to work really well, even in the heavy rain. I came out here and felt around, and it was very dry still up here. So, like I said, it's underneath the oak tree, so it's protected. But you know, it seems to work even in the driving rain. Also, this one up here, I'm going to show you. I just kept this piece of plywood. When I cut this out, I cut it out from the outside, put a couple screws on it so I can hang on to it, and then in the winter, if I want to, you know, want a little less airflow, then I can just stick that right up there, and I'll probably put a couple turning pieces of wood that I can just flip up and down to keep it on there. So that just hangs out up there. Next, the shelves. I just put some shelves in here. I really put them on there to just give the chickens more places to go. They don't really hang out on them too much, except for this one by the window. They really like that one in the morning before we let them out. They just hop up there and they can look out the window. I just leave this open at all times so they can get plenty of air through the screen. The airflow that I have in here is from this window, the screen. I've got a vent up here, and I've got a vent on this side, which is that same cold air return type vent that I sprayed. I've also got this space up here from the ceiling joists that I've left open. I will probably at some point just put some kind of fencing or something up here to keep anything out, but I haven't had any issues yet. Yeah, next we got the curtain. We stole that idea from somebody else too. But this is this way is north, so the sun rises from the east and it shines straight through into the nesting box. And what I've read is they don't enjoy that too much. So this really gives them some privacy, and it keeps the sun out of their eyes in the early morning. I just took a piece of trim, and my wife sewed a hole in this so it just fits all the way through. Put a 2x4, a notch 2x4 on there. Once again, easy to remove. And I cut, or my wife cut slits right in front of every nesting box, so they can just pop in there and pop out. Here is a construction from the inside, the nesting box. You can see once again I used my idea for the pallet board. It is removable. It just pops up and down. Plus it gives them a nice 4 inches here for nesting or for bedding. I use cedar chips for everything. I tried a few different things and didn't have great luck. Cedar chips are cheap and they work really well. I haven't had to replace the bedding in the nesting boxes once. They don't make a mess in here, and it stays in with this pallet board in front. It is about a foot off the ground, which there's different opinions on that, but this seems to work really well. They just hop right up in there. The only places they've laid eggs not in here is, it looks like they were perched and they dropped them right here on the ground and they cracked. And that was in the beginning, and for the last month they haven't done that. Here's where I ran the electric in. I just put it in a box, I pigtailed it off and ran it straight up around here. And I put one more outlet right up here. What I'm going to use it for is I have Christmas lights that were my parents' that they didn't need anymore. And the timer I haven't set because I just got these hung up today. But it does create a lot of light in here at night. We tested it last night. The light is for the shorter months when we want them to continue laying. So I'll put it on a timer to give them plenty of light at night, and that's the setup here. I also have another plug available. That will be for the water. I'm going to have a water warmer for the bucket just to keep it from freezing in those very cold months. And then at some point I may put a automatic opener on my chicken door in front here. I haven't got that far, but here, while I'm here, I'll show you the door. And I'm going to take the camera. You want to show me from the outside? Okay, here's the construction on the door. You can see that's from the outside. I just put a couple brackets here on the side. And there we go. I put a hook in top, tied this rope to it, and a couple stops so it can only go up that far. I put it on a couple pulleys. I was going to pulley straight up down to this side, and then a pulley straight down to the outside where I showed you earlier. And it works really well. It's very handy, so you don't have to walk in the coop at night when they're roosting. Here they come in. It just makes things a little bit easier. Everything I did was to make it a little bit easier. And here is, lastly, the removable, the separator for the small chickens at night. So hopefully this will be gone soon, but I built this on the same design as the rabbit hutch outside. It's just a frame built, and then the 2x4s are just screwed into the inside, and then I surrounded it with chicken wire. I built this so the door is on top. It just swings up like that, so it's easier to drop the chickens down in there. And they have their own water supply. This is just a Tropicana orange juice bottle with poultry nipples on the bottom.
This one's a big one.
And I just put the wire on top to hang it from. Make sure you drill a hole there or you don't get anything coming out the nipples.
This one's a big one.
Underneath it, again, I set a little planter base to catch extra moisture. And there is their food. And here is how I did the top. I just put one brace across the middle and some old door frames that I had. And it is movable, of course, and there is no bottom to it. So that makes it very easy to clean. You just tip it over, you can let the chickens out, scoop everything out of it, and tip it back over. And inside here, I just took a little stick there and stuck it right on there, and that's what they sleep on at night until we get them integrated, which is hopefully soon. One of the very best things that I'll show you now that I did, and I'm very, very glad that I did. Another thing that I stole was the floor. You can see here that is linoleum. We went to a local flooring installer here in town, and they just have extra pieces of linoleum.
Chicken power.
They have extra pieces of linoleum just setting around that you can buy. I think I paid about 20 bucks for it. And I got some quarter round that I painted with exterior paint to keep it from rotting. But yeah, I just cut it to fit, and I put that linoleum down, and it is very, very, very handy. It keeps the floor very easy to clean. When they poop on the floor, it's easy, it scrapes right up. If I want to clean out everything thoroughly, I could even use water to get it super clean. I'm not going to, I'm sure, but that's definitely an option. And it keeps that base wood from rotting and holding moisture. And I think in the winter, when they're cooped up in here a little bit more, that will really pay off. Here I just keep my cedar chips on the shelf. There's the chickens on the perch outside. That way they can see around a little better too, see over the wood piles outside. I've just got my food setting here and some scratch grains for them here. I'll probably build a little shelf to get those up off the ground to give them a little more floor space. And then as soon as the flocks are integrated, then I'll pull this out of here, and then I'll have even more floor space. So I keep a little thermometer on the wall, and it stays nice and cool in here so far.
Mommy.
I think I have covered everything that I wanted to tell you about. It's been very handy. Like I said, big thank you to all the other YouTube posters that kind of helped guide me on the way. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you'd have. And good luck. And have fun with the chickens.